Meantime, we begin a whole new batch of radio mystery stories from the series Midnight Cab. Today, Walker Devereux and the Mystery of the Silver Rings.
Ring, ring, go away. When I'm in a better mood. October 31st. Frost. Big old harvest moon. I'm writing this in my old bedroom in Big River, looking out the window over our next-door neighbor, Mr. Riley's roof. That's just a stopover on my way back to Toronto. Mom wants me to stay longer, but I can't. I have to get back. Back from Vancouver. 5 months ago now since Krista and I first went out there. As far as I was concerned, I thought everything was working out great. I got a job right away driving a van for a diaper service, like I had to deliver the clean ones and pick up the dirty ones. But it was okay because all of a sudden I started to write my novel. It just all suddenly bubbled up. I thought it might be the West Coast that did it. Krista thought it might be the ammonia fumes from the diaper pails, but anyway, I wrote like crazy. Worked and wrote. And Krista, she looked for a job too, but it was hard. In a lot of places she drives there, but she couldn't even get in the front door because of a wheelchair, so then she started to ask if the places were wheelchair accessible or whether she could manage to get in on her crutches, and suddenly it was like winter had arrived early. Their voices would change. Sometimes she'd go anyway, but she didn't get a job. Not the first month or the second, third, fourth. Then she stopped going out altogether. Oh, what's that guy? Jeez. Where'd he go? Is he coming? Hi. You're gonna drown, huh? Well, get in. Okay, I saw you. Not much of a night to check, eh? But I mean, it's raining so hard, right? I guess I didn't notice what was going on with Krista that much. I noticed, but I didn't pay that much attention, if you know what I mean, because I was working all day and writing most of the night. She just started to stay in all the time. It wasn't like her to be so quiet. And bitchy, jeez, she got really bitchy, which I guess was more like her, but mainly she was just quiet. She'd watch TV all day, even bowling. One time, just before her dad called, I looked up from my writing and she was staring at me. I said, "What?" She said,
"My job's Piatelli. It was the only job I ever had, because my father and Alfonso Piatelli grew up together." Laugh, Walker.
Why?
I'm a joke.
So, how far are you going? I'm going all the way through to Toronto. You're not going to Toronto? No, I didn't think so. So, how far are you going? About 20 miles and all. Okay. Yeah, I'll turn the heat up a bit. Hand controls. That's what these are, in case you're wondering. It's my girlfriend's car. She needs hand controls. Johnny Miles. His legs got it up by a thrashing machine. Oh, yeah? I got the knees, both of them. Jeez. So, he drives a car like this? Nope. Oh. And then her father called. Georgie Papadopoulos, the man with the permanent frown. Her mother was sick, real sick. Krista should come home. He wired her money for the plane fare, but just enough for a one-way ticket for one person, and she left. I don't know whether it's the radio or the storm just being out in the middle of nowhere. I can't seem to get in. 14 to 15. Yep. 14 tickets. Yeah. WWDA, Wheeling, West Virginia. Wheeling, West Virginia. Yahoo! You're wheeling, I'm wheeling. Except I can hardly see where I'm going. Man, look at it all come down now. So, your kind of music, eh? I like country music too. It's great, but I'm more into old traditional blues. You know, my girlfriend, Krista, she's music. It's the devil's vomit. When you listen, you can smell it up in your nose. And my grandfather used to say that. Did he? All the time, man. He slept in the same bed. He'd fall asleep and play Alice Cooper real low so he'd get in the dreams. Jeez, well, you'd be surprised the things that go on around here. The last time Krista called, she said she didn't know when she would be coming back. Then she said,
Walker, look. I don't know whether I'm going to come back.
And I said, oh yeah, and hung up. And then I had an anxiety attack. But if that was the way she wanted it to be, then it was okay by me. It lasted 2 weeks until I could hardly even breathe. Then I threw everything we owned in the car, including my manuscript, 321 pages in all, called her and headed east. Because I wanted her to look me right in the face and say, I'd rather live with my father than you, because I'd rather feel sorry for myself, because I'd rather ruin everything. And then, about 100 miles east of Regina on the Trans-Canada Highway, everything went even more weird.
What do you mean? 5 miles north and 2 east? Down this gravel road? Yeah. Geez, man, you'll never get a ride on that road. You'll have to walk. I've done it before. Underwater? Yeah, hey, it's only 7 miles. I'll drive you.
What? Walkell River. That's where all this fog's coming from.
Oh, it seems a lot further than 7 miles.
Might have underestimated.
Then he turned to me and smiled real slow. He was about 19, I guess, a year younger than me. Cropped blonde hair, too short to be punk, too long to be skinhead, just cropped. And wearing a dirty old oilskin coat buttoned up tight to the neck, his round, bland face still slick with rain, and everything, the car, the rain, the kid, seemed a little unreal, as if I were driving through a dream. And then he said, stop. He rested a hand on the dash for a moment, and for the first time I noticed a large silver ring on his finger. Skull and crossbones.
So, I'll be seeing you.
Then he walked across the road into the headlights in the drifting fog, stopped, turned to look at me, his face just hanging there for a moment, like a mask. Then he flung open his arms and disappeared. Very funny.
Rain, fog, medium.
Jeez. What's next? But don't do this. Baby, not here. Please. Shit. There was no use yelling. I ducked the kid off almost a mile back. He wouldn't hear me. Who would hear me in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, in the dark, in the fog? A week before Halloween? Nobody, probably. And then, through the side window, I saw it. Appearing, then disappearing again, through the rising wind and the fog. A faint light. A house. I pushed the car off the side of the road, then found a muddy laneway and walked up it. Finally, a house loomed up out of the fog like the prow of a high, narrow sailing ship, wooden framed and painted a fading white. I stood there for a moment, uncertain what to do, yell or bang on a door, or maybe just forget it, turn around quietly, wait for morning. And then, something moved behind me. I was certain, something large. I turned slowly. Nothing.
Are you dead or alive?
What?
For the love of Jesus, are you dead or alive?
What?
No. Daddy!
A form the size of a tree trunk grabbed me around the neck and drove me into the ground.
Bring a light!
What are you doing around here?
Where'd you come from? Is he one of them?
He's just a kid.
Pulling pranks, is that it? Is that what you're doing? No.
Who's in on it?
Ace! Ace! Oh, get up!
The big man moved back awkwardly with his one leg splayed out stiff from his body. Then he lifted me up by my collar so easily it felt like I was going up an elevator. The man behind me flashlight reached out and started to feel my face all over, pinching my skin softly.
You ain't from around here.
No, my car...
What's your name?
Walker Devereux. My car broke down. It's out on the road. I was looking for help.
We're tired of all this carrying on, you hear? And we're going to put it into it.
I don't know what you mean. I just got here. I was just...
Sure as hell you didn't. Where's the rest of them? What are you, devil worshippers?
What?
Carl, you better walk down the road. See about the car. We don't want to make a mistake.
There's no mistake.
Carl, check the car. Go on. Go.
You be okay?
I'll be okay. And you You come into the house.
No, it's all right.
You come into the house.
I went into the house. It was either that or run, and I didn't know where to run. We went through a side door, and he switched on the light. An old lady was sitting in the dark. She blinked at me, blinked in the sudden glare. Her hands gripped the arms of a chair. She was staring across the room at me and trembling, like I was a ghost. A younger woman came into the room from the hall, tall and slender with a wolfish face. She was holding a butcher knife.
Put that thing away, Joni, before you cut somebody with it. Probably yourself.
I will not. I have a perfect right to protect myself, and this is the absolute last night I'm staying in this house. Who is he?
I don't know. A stranger.
Walker Devereux. I was just...
His car broke down, he says. I tend to believe him.
Oh, my God. You mean he's not undead?
No, Belle. He's as warm-blooded as you or me. I felt him. Besides, that's all nonsense. I've told you that, and I've told you that, and I've told you that. I refuse to believe it.
Oh, my God. You must think we're all crazy.
No.
How'd he get so muddy, then?
Carl sat on him.
The old lady, well, she wasn't that old. When she got up, I could see she was about 60, began to fuss around the kitchen, making me a roast beef sandwich and a coffee. Carl, the giant, came back in, Joni's husband, and said he'd found my car all right. Ontario license plates with a wheelchair symbol. I explained what that was all about, my girlfriend. Then we all began to relax a little. When Carl sat down, I could see his leg bent peculiarly, an artificial leg attached above the knee.
We've been living in hell the last few weeks, lad. Just, well, worse than hell. We'd arranged a little surprise party tonight, Carl and me, but I guess it didn't work.
The old man said it all started when he found Meg, Carl's old horse, in the pasture one morning. Eyes gouged out, disemboweled. The not-so-old lady, his wife, said no. It started when she noticed the graves disturbed up in the cottonwood trees. Anyway, they both agreed they'd seen a raggedy figure on several nights moaning outside in the yard. And one time the wife, she'd heard a noise and pressed against the window to see, and his face was right there, pressed against hers, decaying flesh hanging in chunks. His breath like a hiss against the window.
Gang of kids, satanic lodge of some kind. I don't believe in the undead.
Then how do you explain what happened last night?
Somebody's trying to scare us off this place, that's all.
Why? What good is it? So full of debt we'll never be clear of it in our lifetimes or anybody else's. Why, you couldn't even get enough credit this spring to put in a decent crop. The only thing not owned by the bank out here is the heartbreak.
It'll come around.
It won't come around.
You'd be much better off moving into Weyburn. You'd see your grandchildren once in a while, because I'm certainly not bringing them out here.
All right, Joni.
Well, I'm not. Or moving to Esterhazy, where all your friends are. Or Regina.
It'll be all right. Just kids. That's all. Kids. Fooling around.
Oh, Grant, it's more than kids. It's downright evil.
So, what happened last night?
Calf came crashing through a bedroom window. Pierced itself on the glass. 20 feet straight up in the air. I don't know how they did it.
Oh. The old lady led me upstairs to a bedroom. I was going to stay the night. She wouldn't hear of me sleeping out in the car. It was her younger son's bedroom, Joseph. He'd run off a few weeks before. It wasn't the first time. He'd just disappear for a while, and then he'd come back. It was just his way, she said. He was only 19. He wasn't ready to settle down.
I hope it's not too drafty for you. Carl tried to fit that board as tight as he could.
No, it's fine. Thanks. Is that where the...
Yeah, the calf came through? Yes, poor thing. Right through the glass. We all woke up with such a fright, and there it was, staring wide-eyed. Well, you make yourself at home. You know where the bathroom is.
Yes.
It's nice. Nice to have another body in the house.
Warm-blooded.
Good night, son.
Joseph, it seemed, was into motorcycles. Motorcycle posters, motorcycle magazines, girls in tight leather bending over motorcycles, guys with ZZ Top beards. Pitch black, middle of the night. It's amazing how dark it gets in the country. I heard it and sat straight up. There it was again. I was about to slip quietly out of the bed and look out the window when I realized it was coming from the next room. It was Carl, snoring. So I'm going to be delayed a couple of days, I think.
Oh.
How's your mom?
Not very well. They're keeping her in the hospital all the time now.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. So where are you now?
Middle of Saskatchewan somewhere. I mean, it's hard to get a mechanic out here.
Oh, it's Sunday. Walker, you should have just stayed. You had a good job.
Did I?
And nothing's changed. I mean, the way I feel. Look, I want to live on my own for a while.
With Daddy, you mean?
The thing is, it was finally just so boring, Walker. I was just so bored.
I don't care. I'm coming to see you anyway. Krista? Krista, you all right?
No.
Krista. Krista never cries. She never cries. Everything's all screwed up.
You see?
Yeah.
Look, there's another one here. It wasn't like that yesterday. Oh, blessed Mary, just like the others.
The old gravestones had been worn smooth as glass over the years by the prairie wind. You could hardly make out the names. A small family cluster of 7 graves. Relatives?
No, we've only been on the land, my husband's family, since after the Depression days. Bought it for a song. Not even worth that anymore, it seems. Oh, I'd rather be anywhere. Anywhere. If it weren't for Granny so god-awful stubborn.
The turf over 4 of the graves looked torn up and pushed aside a little. It took a sharp eye to notice the difference. You don't, believe, do you? I mean, that the dead could be rising out of these graves?
If only you'd seen what I saw. Oh, I don't know anymore.
But did you show them to Joseph? Did he know?
He went away before all this happened. And I'm just as glad, too.
Carl? He must be quite a bit older than Joseph.
Oh, yes. 14 years apart. Joseph was... Well, he was certainly a surprise, let's just say that.
And I guess he's dark-haired, too, like Carl?
Oh, no, he's blonde. He's very fair. He has my coloring. Well, before my hair went all white. Why?
Oh, no reason. Just staying in his room, I guess. I wonder what he was like.
Tall and fair and very handsome. And one day he'll settle. I know he will.
Carl and his wife left before noon to drive back to their home in Weyburn. I could hear them both trying to persuade the old man to let the bank walk in and take over, get rid of the place, walk away, if not for himself, then for his wife's sake. The old man just stood beside their car, head down, and outwaited them patiently like a mule, until they got into their car and left. The barn was low-ceilinged and dark and warmer than outside. The sweet smell of hay, the pungent smell of manure and ammonia, reminded me a little of the job I just quit. A few calves were milling around in a large box stall, just bought a few weeks ago, according to the wife, to be fattened up over the winter and sold in the spring. And a sow next door, lounging on her side, as a half-dozen little pigs butted their snouts against her belly, looking for something to drink.
What are you doing?
Oh, nothing much, just looking around. Cute pigs.
I never thought of them that way myself.
Thanks for letting me stay another night.
Least we can do. Too bad it's been so peculiar and all. We'll get Mike out first thing in the morning. If he can't fix it on the spot, he'll give you a tow into Esterhazy.
Great. You don't believe in ghosts and the walking dead and all that, do you?
I don't, no. It's one of them devil cults is what it is. Perverts. I'll be damned if they'll get the best of me.
Seems amazing, though. And how much would one of those calves weigh?
Oh, 70, 75 pounds by now.
No. Could somebody put a ladder up against the house and carry a dead calf up to the window, do you think? You know, just like shoved it right through the glass.
Might have done. But it made such a noise, and Mother and me, we sleep downstairs, and our bedroom window's right below, and I looked out, and there was no ladder to be seen. Not that I was looking for one. I didn't know what the hell was going on. By the time I got upstairs, there was Carl already there, and Joni not far behind, gaping at the calf. It all happened quick.
Did you check under the window, like for ladder marks? The ground's soft. Must be at least 200 pounds or more of weight pressing down.
Well, no, I didn't think about that.
We checked together, the old man and me. There was a flower bed, soft earth, nothing, no holes, just the odd shard of glass glistening across the wet green grass. I lay in bed that next night and watched the moonlight shimmer on the motorcycle posters and tried to work things through in my mind. Krista, satanic cults, Krista. And who was that Alice Cooper fan standing in the rain? Joseph with the long yellow oilskin coat and the blonde hair and the silver ring? And if it was, what did he want? What did he think he was doing? And the bits of glass out on the lawn. Somebody had picked up most of them, but it missed enough to tell the story. The window hadn't been broken from the outside in, but from the inside out. Whoever had smashed the glass and put the calf in the window had been inside this room. And then I heard it again. Carl, snoring in the next room, except Carl wasn't there. He had gone home with his wife. I had seen him drive away, and then I realized it wasn't next door. This time, it was coming from outside. I moved to the window, looked down into the yard. At first, nothing but shadow and moonlight. And then a man or something was suddenly there, right below me. He was all tattered and covered with mud, and he appeared to be balancing himself precariously on his legs. Then he crouched and moaned, and then he looked straight up at me. I ducked back from the window, quickly pulled on my pants and shoes. His face, I had to make sure I really had seen what I thought I had seen. I eased out the kitchen door and crossed the yard, but there was nothing there, so I crept slowly towards the barn and the drive shed, sneaking along the drive shed wall. I froze. Something was just on the other side of the wall in the shed. It was like fingers or claws, more like claws, scraping up a wall. I backed away, inched along until I came to a window, slowly raised on my toes, peered in, and looked. Right into its face. Torn, flesh, hanging. Oh, God.
What is it? Where have you been?
I heard something. I went out to look. I saw it. That thing.
Oh, Lord God.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. I can't stand it anymore.
I thought I heard something. I wasn't sure.
I was in the drive shed, and I saw it by the barn. I followed it, and then I think I saw it running up the hill towards the cottonwoods. But by the time I got there, I couldn't see a thing. I looked all around.
You went up to the grave?
Huh.
Oh, my God. You could have been killed. You could have had your soul ripped out.
She turned unsteadily and walked into the bedroom.
It's no good. No good here any longer. It's the end of it.
There was pressure. It sort of turned up on another one of the graves. Mike, the mechanic from Esterhazy, came out the next morning. Cracked distributor cap. He put some sealant on it, said it should hold up till I found a replacement. The car fired up. I was on my way. Except I wasn't. I said my goodbyes to the old couple, drove down the road, and stopped where I could see the farm, and waited. They were going into Esterhazy themselves. The old man had had enough. He was going in to see the bank. His wife was going in to arrange for them to stay at her brother's house until they could arrange something permanent in town for themselves. Another farm for the bank. Another farmer walking away. I watched them drive down the lane and turn towards Esterhazy. Waited a few minutes, and then I went back. I went out to the barn first to check the little pigs. Well, to count them, actually. There had been half a dozen. I wasn't really surprised, but I was kind of scared all over again to see now. There were only 5. And then I grabbed the shovel I'd seen just inside the barn door and walked up the long slope toward the cottonwood trees. The old man had said it had all started when he'd found the mutilated horse in the pasture. His wife had said no. It had begun when she'd noticed the disturbed grave. I'd asked her which one it was, that first grave. She pointed it out then, said she'd been chasing a renegade chicken and she'd noticed it. Leaves and grass spread over it, but when she pushed them aside, she could see that the earth had been disturbed. So I dug there, and dug, and at about 4 feet down, I hit something solid. What's this? I knelt down and started to push the dirt away with my hands, and then there it was. A bone-gleaming white skin peeled back by the shovel, and more slim bones and flesh. A human hand, and on its finger, a silver skull and crossbones ring. And it was so strange because I knew he was standing there below me on the slope, watching me before I even turned round. And then I did, and he was there. The old man, Joseph's father. And there was no blood left in his face at all. And he staggered and collapsed on the ground.
What?
It was the old man. He and his son had had some fight. I guess they were always fighting, and the old man had whirled around with a pitchfork just to jab at him, scare him. But the kid had come right up behind him, and the tines of the fork went right through his chest. He died in his father's arms. Anyway, the mother was in town. How could he tell her he had killed their son? Better to say, he had run off again. In time, they'd give up waiting for him to come home. In time, they'd comfort themselves that he'd found a new life somewhere and was living happily ever after.
Oh, my God, Walker.
So he buried him in one of the old graves. But the mother accidentally stumbled on it, and she would have grown more and more curious about it the longer her son went missing. So he distracted her with the slaughtered horse and calf and the tattered man and more disturbed graves. He told the police the last place he could stand to be anymore was that farm with that grave. So he terrorized everyone so he could say, "All right, enough. I've changed my mind. I will leave."
Walker, are you making this up?
No.
Have you ever noticed wherever you go, weird things happen?
No.
What about that kid? The one that you picked up?
Oh, he was just a friend of Joseph's. I felt real dumb because I just assumed those rings, they were skull and crossbones, but they weren't. They were crossed hockey sticks and a crest. Like they played on the same hockey team.
Oh, and the awful face.
Yeah, well, the mother didn't know what was going on because she was on sleeping pills. Until he'd wake her up, she was knocked out. It was a mask. He'd slaughter a little pig and skin it and turn the skin inside out.
Walker, get in the car. Just get in the car and get here right now.
I should stop up at Mom's.
Well, hurry up.
Yeah? Okay. The moon is balancing on Mr. Riley's chimney now. I leave for Toronto in the morning. Geez, I don't know. First she doesn't want to see me, then she does want to see me. How are you supposed to know what's really going on? Of course, it's the same with me. I never said, "I understand what you're going through, Krista. I mean, not getting the job and everything." I never said anything like that. I wonder why.
Midnight Cab was written by James W. Nichol. David Ferry was Walker Devereux. Jacqueline Samuda was Krista. John Winston Carroll was Dad. Miriam Newhouse was Mum. George Buzza was Carl. Alexa Duncan was Joni. And Nicholas Van Burek played the hitchhiker. Music was composed by Milan Kinlica. Linda Grierson is the casting consultant. Recording engineer Joanne Anka. Sound effects by John Stewart. Production assistant was Nina Callahan. Midnight Cab is produced and directed by